So the breaking news this morning, Monday morning, the Miami Hurricanes have gone to the transfer portal to add experience and depth at running back because TreVonte Citizen is going to miss the season. Mario Cristobal said so on the Joe Rose show on Monday morning, and we know that Don Chaney is going to miss some time. I think Chaney's going to be back at some point, hopefully in time for ACC play, because he had Instagrammed a few days ago that he's going to be out a month. So I don't know if that's official timing or just a rough estimate. But in the meantime, the Hurricanes have brought in another one from UAB. Remember Antonio Moultrie, defensive line transfer from UAB. Now they bring in former UAB running back Lucious Stanley. He's a redshirt senior transfer, so a lot of experience. He's going to take a walk-on spot. Don't expect this guy to be taking like a starting job away from Parrish or Knighton or anything like that, but I think he's going to play a lot of special teams. I think he'll get some burn in the backfield early on in the season. In 2021, he ran 38 times for 213 yards and a touchdown, averaging 5.6 yards per carry last year, if I can speak correctly. And back in 2020, he played in 8 of his team's 9 games, had 20 rushes for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 37 yards. And the news on this transfer, Lucious Stanley from UAB, I believe was first broken by Canesport.com. So credit to Gary Furman and Matt Shodell for being ahead of the curve on that one. And guys, we have a lot to talk about from the backfield onward. That's why we bring in a good friend of the show and a great friend to the Canes community. He is a former Miami Hurricanes punter. He was at the U the same time I was at the U. I think we've both aged very gracefully since we were true freshmen back in 2003. Brian Monroe is with us. Brian, how you doing, sir?
Good, man. I like to think I aged a little bit well, you know. I don't maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I like to think so.
Yeah, you're looking great. You're doing great, and you're around the team a lot. Let's start, Brian, in the backfield. Before we get to who's in and who's out, what do you make of this transfer? I think people had suspected in recent weeks after the Citizen injury that Miami might look to bring somebody through the portal. How much do you think a guy like Lucious Stanley from UAB can help this team?
Well, I mean, it's depth, right? It's all about a depth thing. You know, we saw last year when all the running backs went down, all you had was Rooster left. We ran him into the ground. You know, one thing about Rooster makes him different is his speed. And if he's got to be an every down back, then he's not fresh. So to have that rotation of guys that you trust, guys that can pick up the blitz, guys you can hold accountable. You know, now look at the move of bringing in Parrish at the beginning. It's so much bigger now because now you're going to have, like, seems like to me, a 1-2 punch for Parrish and Rooster. Dad's going to be that change pace back. And then you got this new guy where you're really looking for depth. You're really looking for competition. And like in, the first 2 games, you would really love to see that he gets more burn to learn the offense, get comfortable, get to know his teammates, and keep out a guy like Rooster and Parrish and Fresh. But I think you nailed it in an opening. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to come and take a position. You might see him on, obviously special teams like you mentioned. But again, it's just a guy to say we have depth. We have a guy that is older, that's a bigger body, that understands it, and he's going to be able to, pick up the playbook, get a little bit of burn, and if they need a breather, go in for 1 or 2 plays.